I can't believe this. I can't believe they actually did this to me. My voice was shaking so badly, I thought I might drop the fork in my hand. Thanksgiving had always been about family, about traditions, the laughter, and the comfort of being home. But that day, everything I thought I knew about my family was ripped away in a single, soul-crushing moment. My own brother, my little brother, stood up at the dinner table, and with that one look at me, I knew he was about to shatter everything. He looked at our parents and said, loud enough for everyone in the room to hear, "You gave her inheritance to her sister and thought she wouldn't notice." My heart stopped. I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was falling, like the ground beneath me had vanished, and there was no one to catch me. That voice in my head screamed, "No, this can't be real. They love me, right?" But the truth hit me like a sledgehammer. They had lied. They had planned it. And they had counted on me staying silent. Well, they were wrong. Before I get into everything that happened that Thanksgiving, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a story that will shock, move, and keep you glued to the edge of your seat. My name is Amanda. I'm 31, and that Thanksgiving started like any other. I arrived at our family home carrying a basket of pumpkin pies, the smell of cinnamon and nutmeg trailing behind me. My parents greeted me warmly, smiling, hugging me like nothing could ever go wrong in our perfect little family. My sister, Emily, was already there, casually chatting with Mom about work and how she deserved a little bonus this year. I laughed at something Emily said, and for a brief, fleeting moment, I felt that familiar comfort, the way family makes you feel safe, no matter how old you get. But then, subtle things started to feel off. My dad avoided looking me in the eyes, and every time I asked about my grandmother's will, he shifted uncomfortably, clearing his throat, glancing at Mom as if we were all in some unspoken game. I laughed it off at first, telling myself I was being paranoid. I've always trusted my parents. They've always been the moral center of our chaotic little world. Or at least, that's what I thought. The tension built slowly, almost imperceptibly. Emily kept dropping hints about her upcoming plans and financial wins. At first, I thought she was just bragging the way sisters do, but something in the way my parents smiled at her, almost conspiratorially, sent a shiver down my spine. I tried to shake it off. I really did. I wanted to believe it was all in my head, and then it happened. The moment that will haunt me forever. My brother, Luke, who had always been quiet, polite, never one to stir trouble, suddenly slammed his hand on the table. Everyone turned. Even Emily froze mid-sentence. The air in the room grew thick, heavy, suffocating. Luke's eyes were blazing, not with anger, but with a kind of righteous fury that made my chest tighten. "Mom, Dad, stop pretending," he said. "You gave Amanda's inheritance to Emily, thinking she wouldn't notice. You thought she'd stay quiet. Well, she's not." My mouth went dry. I felt like my entire body had stopped working. The room seemed to tilt, and I could hear my own heartbeat echoing in my ears. I wanted to run, to scream, to tell them they were wrong. But the words wouldn't come. My parents looked shocked at first, but then their faces hardened. They smiled, that cold, practiced smile I had seen 1,000 times in family photos, but never understood. I realized in that instant, they had done this deliberately. They had plotted, they had schemed, and the target was me. And the betrayal, it wasn't just about money. It was about everything I had ever believed about love, trust, and family. I left the table without a word, retreating to my old bedroom upstairs. My hands shook so badly I couldn't even pour myself a glass of water. Tears blurred my vision, and for the first time in my life, I felt completely, utterly alone. But amid the despair, a tiny spark ignited inside me. They think I'll let this slide? They think I'll just disappear quietly? No. I clenched my fists, feeling a cold determination settle over me like armor. I didn't know how yet, but I knew one thing. I wouldn't let them get away with this. That night, I lay awake staring at the ceiling, replaying the moment over and over. Every word, every smirk, every glance that had been hiding in plain sight. And I realized something terrifying. I had underestimated them. Yes, but they had also underestimated me. I wasn't going to cry quietly in a corner. I wasn't going to forgive and forget. I was going to make them see that betrayal has consequences, and I was going to take back what was mine. Not just the inheritance, but my dignity, my voice, my family, if I had to fight tooth and nail to get it. I spent the next few days in a fog of anger, disbelief, and quiet plotting. Every conversation I'd had with my parents, every smile that had once felt warm, now replayed in my head like evidence. I couldn't just confront them blindly. I needed proof. I dug through old financial documents, emails, even our family trust papers, everything I could get my hands on. And there it was, in black and white, undeniable. My inheritance, everything I had earned and was promised, had been quietly rerouted to Emily's name. I felt fury bubble up in my chest, a fire so intense I thought I might combust. But it wasn't just rage. It was clarity. I finally understood the full picture. They thought they could manipulate me, silence me, control me. They had counted on my loyalty, my patience, my good girl reputation. And now, it was my turn to show them they had underestimated me. I confronted Emily first. She didn't even look surprised. She smiled, smug and unbothered, as if she had expected me to cave. But I didn't. I spoke slowly, deliberately, letting every word land. You didn't earn this. You didn't deserve this. And you're going to give it back. Her laugh was sharp, mocking, but that only fueled me further. I presented the evidence I had gathered, showing her exactly what had been done, exactly how my parents had planned it. She froze. I could see the realization sink in, the fear in her eyes for the first time. I had never seen her like that before. Vulnerable, cornered, exposed. And it was enough. I could have humiliated her more, but I didn't need to. The truth had already done its work. Next came the hardest confrontation, my parents. I waited until we were all at the dining room table, the irony of the setting not lost on me. I spoke calmly measured, but with a fire that they couldn't ignore. You thought I wouldn't notice. You thought I'd stay silent. But I have seen everything. I know everything. And I'm not letting this slide. Their eyes narrowed, their faces tight with tension. For a moment, it felt like nothing would break through that wall of pride and denial. But then I laid out the documents, the emails, the trail of deception. I didn't shout. I didn't plead. I simply let the truth speak louder than any argument could. And then it happened. The silence in the room was deafening. My mother's hand trembled as she reached for her tea, and my father's jaw tightened like he was swallowing something bitter. I could see the guilt, the shame, the realization that their perfect little control over the family had crumbled. My inheritance was restored, my voice heard, and for the first time in years, I felt the weight of justice settle over me like relief. It wasn't about revenge in the petty sense. It was about reclaiming my life, my rights, and my sense of self-worth. And in that moment, I knew I had done it. I had fought, I had exposed, and I had won. Later, as I sat alone in my room, reflecting on everything that had happened, a strange calm washed over me. Betrayal had cut deep, deeper than I could have imagined, but it had also shown me something powerful. I am stronger than their lies, braver than their manipulations, and no one, not even family, can take away my truth. I realized that the most satisfying justice isn't vengeance for its own sake. It's reclaiming your dignity, your voice, and your life. I was free from fear, free from doubt, and free from the chains of deception that had tried to hold me down. That Thanksgiving, the family dinner table no longer held comfort for me, but it did hold clarity, justice, and the knowledge that I had stood up for myself when it mattered most. I had been betrayed, yes, but I had also discovered the power within me to fight back, to demand respect, and to reclaim what was mine. And that, I realized, was worth more than any inheritance ever could be. If you've ever felt betrayed, silenced, or underestimated, remember this. You have a voice, a strength, and a power they can never take from you. Stand up. Speak out. Fight for what's yours. And if you want more stories of raw, emotional family drama, betrayal, and justice that will grip your heart, make sure to hit that subscribe button and never miss a single story.